What's up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the Wrigley Wire Podcast. I'm Carson. I run the Wrigley Wire account over on Twitter X. I am a student at East Carolina University studying journalism and pursuing a career in sports journalism, sports writing. That's what I want to get into. If you've seen my stuff before, you know I'm pretty active on Twitter, talking about the Cubs, some stats, some news, pretty much everything like that. And I wanted to take it more long form, where I can go a little bit more in depth here on YouTube um, than I can on Twitter. Everything over there is pretty short form, got to be pretty concise, and I can't really share too much of my thoughts, as much as I'd like to, at least. So, just figured I'd start talking about it on YouTube, go a little bit more in depth for you guys, and just provide some more insight for you guys. So, first episode today, I want to talk about Moisés Ballesteros, look back on his 2025, both in AAA and in the majors, as well as what we can expect in 2026 regarding like his role with the team, and as well as some numbers and some performance based stuff. So let's get into looking back on 2025. So his time in AAA, he had 509 plate appearances this year. He slashed 316, 385, 473 with a pretty good approach. He only struck out 13.2% of the time while walking 9.6% of the time with 13 home runs. Um, and really, like the key to his game, especially in AAA this season, was spraying the ball all over the field. He used every part of the zone, every part of the field. He can get base hits straight down the left field line. He can pull it straight down the right field line. He can go work gap to gap, right back up the center. I mean, you see it. He showed the same approach really when it was in the MLB this season towards the end. That's just his game. He puts the ball in play a lot. He doesn't strike out a lot, and he spreads it around the field. And we saw that through 66 plate appearances in the MLB this year. He had a 298, 394, 474 slash, and his plate discipline was pretty good actually. He only struck out 18.2% of the time, so 5% higher than AAA. But he's 22-year-old, first time in the bigs. That's to be expected. 18% is, I mean, that's still pretty good. And then he walked 13.6% of the time, which is higher than in AAA. You figure just trying to be patient. He's not trying to do too much, which is very mature for someone at his age, like especially playing for a team that had a lot to lose down the stretch. The Cubs were playing for that top wild card spot, and he really stepped up. He had that huge against Milwaukee. I think in Milwaukee, bases look clearing double. I want to say I'll put the clip up. I'm pretty sure it's base clearing double in Milwaukee, and that was huge. It was against Freddie Peralta, nice patient at bat. He just drove it straight into the gap. It was probably one of, if not the biggest hit by a Cub all season. So I'll throw up a picture of his slash line or his spray chart in AAA up on the screen here, and you can just tell. I mean, he spreads the ball everywhere, hits the ball hard, he drives it, and it's always in play. I mean, I'll look at some metrics here. In AAA, his average exit velocity was 90.2 miles per hour, which is pretty good. It dropped a little bit once he got to the bigs, but I mean, that's to be expected. All the pitchers are way better. I mean, 89.1, he dropped about a mile per hour. And it's not great, but the ball's in play so much with him that it doesn't really matter. And then you look at his hard hit rate, and it dropped about 10% from AAA, which, that's not super ideal. But like I said, he puts the ball in play so much that it doesn't really matter. And then, once he gets more than 66 plate appearances in the MLB, that kind of stuff will even out. And then his bat speed as well. We got to see the numbers on that for the first time once he got to the bigs. It was 72.7 miles per hour, which was, I want to say, fourth on the team once things were all said and done. And that's really impressive. He swings the bat hard and he hits the ball a lot. So that plays very well at any level. One thing I did want to talk about that he could prove offensively is pull air percentage, and that's become pretty relevant in MLB, especially in the last couple of years. So um, definitely a talking point because in AAA it was 9.6%, which is not where you want to be. That's very low. I mean, you look at 2025 PCA had an elite pull air percentage and he hit 31 home runs, and a guy who probably doesn't have all that much power. His batted ball, it's about average. Um, 30.2 pull air percentage. That's just elite. He hit 31 home runs. Uh, 21 more than he did the previous season. So something like that for Ballesteros, he could improve on. And then once he got to the bigs, it was 4.4%. He sprays the ball around. He's going to hit some oppo home runs. It's just he probably has the power to be a 30 home run guy. It's just you don't pull the ball in the air more than 10% of the time. You're not probably going to hit 30 home runs. Would be surprised to see somebody that does that, a 30 home run guy that hits most of his home runs to center the opposite way. So, he pulls the ball in the air a little bit more, which it would make sense for that to be a big main focus for them this offseason with him, especially with him expecting to get more big league at bats next year. He'll probably be working with the big league guys, hear more from those minds. And, if it's going to mean him losing average, it might not be something that the Cubs do, losing some contact, but if it's minimal, it's probably worth a shot. He's got plenty of pop. I mean, he could easily hit 25 home runs next season, even at Wrigley, and even with probably not a full season's worth of at-bats, because I'm sure he's not going to play every single day unless he really has a breakout season, which he could. He very well could. He was great to the end of the season in the majors. Like I said, he hit almost 300. So it's very possible that he gets a lot of at-bats next season. He can hit the ball hard, and he can swing the bat hard, and he can hit the ball a lot at a high rate. So, pull the ball in the air a little bit more, hit a couple more home runs. That might be something that they look to do for him next season. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that that's something he's working on. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about what he needs to improve on aside from offense, which is defense, because right now he's kind of stacked up to be a rotating in and out of the DH slot with Seiya and Casey next season competing for at bats, probably with Casey. Seiya will probably be an everyday guy. I mean, it makes sense. He's an all-star. So a way for him to get more bats would be to improve his defense. He caught 590-ish innings last year at AAA, which is a good sample size, he allowed 92 stolen bases and only threw out 14 runners, which isn't great. If he tried, the Cubs threw him into the fire this season, he probably would have gotten run all over. But he did have make one start at catcher. He did show some flashes. He looked pretty comfortable back there. He had some good frame. He stole some strikes. There's maybe one or two borderline pitches where maybe he probably should have gotten a strike call and he didn't. But 6 innings, 1 pitch that he didn't get, he probably stole 3 or 4. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'd say that was a big win for him. And if he can continue to improve on that, maybe make one start at catcher a week, that's going to earn him a lot of at bats this season, because right now the DH is super fluid. There's not probably going to be one set DH all season, so it's going to be hard. He's going to have to compete for at bats next season, and without him taking that defensive leap, it's probably, he won't get as many at bats as he probably deserves, just because Seiya, Suzuki, and Owen Casey are also very good hitters who are going to get at bats and deserve to get at bats. Okay, so 2026, if he's able to get those at bats, Fangraphs projects him to slash 266, 330, 408, which is good for a 738 OPS and a 108 WRC plus, which is above average. I don't by any means think that's a ceiling. I think if he goes out and he earns some extra at bats, playing catcher, or maybe first base here and there, give Michael Busch a day off, I think he could probably hit better than that. I think he'll slug more than 408 regardless. I think he's got more pop in there. He works the gaps very well. I think he'll have a fair share of doubles. And like I said, if he gets that pull error percentage up, he could, even if he plays, they only have him projected at 92 games. If he plays 92 games, he could probably hit 15, 20 home runs, which his slash would be higher than that. They project him to hit 10 home runs and drive in 44 runs, which I guess with his current profile probably could be pretty accurate. But yeah, he's a 22-year-old guy. He's got great contact skills. He's got a great idea of the zone. He probably could be an elite hitter here, maybe even next season. Sprays the ball everywhere. He's pure. He's a pure hitter. Probably the purest in the Cubs system, even over Casey, I would say. It's just he plays his game very well. That's just all there is to it. If he gets enough at bats next season, he's gonna make a big impact with the big league club. So just a couple closing thoughts. He's already shown that he has one of the best approaches in the system. He sprays the ball everywhere. He doesn't strike out. Can hit the ball hard. He swings the bat hard. He's an impressive hitter to watch. Anybody that sees him knows he can swing the bat well. Knows he can play. If his defense takes another step, then he could. I don't think he won't catch every day next season. I can guarantee that. You have Carson Kelly coming back. Miguel Maya, if he's healthy, he'll be back. Hopefully, he is healthy. I really like Miguel Maya. But even if he's making one start a week at catcher, I mean, that's an extra 4 at bats every week on top of his DH at bats. It's going to be huge. He's going to make a big impact, and I think honestly that's probably best for the club. So even if he doesn't take that leap, I know he's still going to project as a really big, solid young bat. He's going to, probably start 3-4 times a week. Maybe see some time in AAA. We'll see how things shake out with this offseason and what the Cubs end up doing on offense. But he's going to get a big opportunity next season. He's going to make a big impact when he's with the team. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, I know it's probably not going to be the greatest episode, probably not super polished. I probably stuttered a little bit or said a couple too many times, but first time, not used to being on camera. So thank you guys for listening. And hopefully next time I'm talking to you guys, the Cubs have landed the top starter, and that's what the topic is going to be. So I'll see you next time. Thank you guys for listening.